order. Next on the agenda is roll call. Reed,
Here.
Hang,
Here.
Watt, here, McCulloch,
Here.
Chief Saravello,
Here.
Coda, here. Next on the agenda is introductions of guests. So if anyone's in the sitting down and can come forward and state their name and, if applicable, local address.
Chuck Keller with the Transportation Improvement Association, TIA.
Thank you, Chuck.
Don't be shy, girls. You just have to get up, say your name real
Yeah.
quick.
Lindy Marcelise. Rachel Orzakowski. Jillian Hine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the October 7th, 2021 Traffic and Safety Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of passing or approving the minutes of the October 7th, 2021 Traffic and Safety Board meeting, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda is old business. Item A is intersection of Washington and Phillips.
Ladies, is that why you're here, correct?
Yeah.
School project? Yeah. So maybe it would benefit if they spoke why they brought it to our attention, and then TIA did a full study, and we're going to get into that and explain it. So,
Okay.
I mean, one of you want to give a brief on why it was brought up in the beginning? That would probably help.
So we're 10th grade students from Clawson High School, and we're speaking today on our concerns with the two-way stop on the corner of Phillips and Washington. We think that a four-way stop would be better for this location, considering the school being in the same area. This intersection is very dangerous, especially when cars are piling up before and after school. A lot of kids don't pay attention when they cross the street, so with a four-way stop, it would decrease the likeliness of an accident happening. Also, new drivers or people who aren't usually driving in this area may not know to be cautious by this intersection, which could cause an accident. And that's all.
Thanks.
you.
Thank you very much.
Did you want to give a brief on it?
Sure.
I had forwarded it to Melissa, but it got lost in email shuffle. I have a copy of the report.
Okay.
And then I'll make sure everyone else gets it
Okay,
tonight.
and
just so you
it's a
have it.
draft report right
So
now.
this is a draft after the presentation tonight, then he can finalize and for record keeping.
Okay. So the Transportation Improvement Association was asked to take a look at this intersection and do a traffic study for it. So we collected 24-hour volume counts, speed data. We reviewed the crash history and conducted a site visit. And we also came during school arrival and dismissal periods to observe the intersection and how it operated with students crossing. So as a result of the study, we take the volumes, because if there's the Michigan Manual Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which guides and gives reasons or warrants for when you install a four-way stop at an intersection. So one of those is the traffic volumes. So the volumes that were at this intersection were not sufficient enough to warrant the always stop installation. One of the other warrants in there is the crash history. So you'd be looking for a pattern of crashes at the intersection, which would be typically an angle crash because someone missed the stop sign or that. And we did not have that at that intersection. It didn't meet that criteria as well. So then some of the other criteria to look at for the intersection would be operations if you have a high number of pedestrians. So being near a school, we also came and watched the school traffic, pedestrian traffic crossing at the intersection, and did not observe conflicts or situations that we felt would warrant, these always stop to be installed. There was plenty of gaps for students to cross. There was also good behavior by motorists actually stopping for pedestrians to cross. So we also, as a conclusion, we looked at the speeds because one of the reasons was the speed of traffic at that area that people were concerned with. So When you set a speed limit, they're looking for the 85th percentile speed of traffic, so which that means the speed at which 85% of the drivers drive at or below. And that's typically used nationally for setting or establishing speed limits. It also gives us an idea if traffic is traveling at the speed limit when we do a review. So the 85th percentile speeds that were observed at the or on the, let's see, on, get my bearings straight again here, on Phillips Avenue, the through street, the 85th percentile speed, traffic there from the study, both east and west of the intersection was in the 24 mile per hour range. So it's below the 25th, so you have good compliance there. Now, there are some violations of the speed limit between 25 and 30, and then when we get concerned is when there are 5 or more over, and there was only 1% of the traffic traveling at that speed that we recorded during the study. So the suggestions or the recommendation is to just do selective enforcement of the speed limit there. And in the report, we reported the hours of the day when speeding was observed during the study. So that was our recommendation for the intersection. And concludes my report for that intersection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, are you doing the paper for school or?
It's like
Or
a
your
slideshow-
project?
It's like a slideshow presentation.
Okay. What is the protocol if they were to get a copy of your study for that? Is that feasible or is that just in-house
Sure.
between you and I?
As far as
Or the board? I'm sorry.
I'll step up the mic. From our perspective, we give the study to the city. At that point, it's foilable information, right? So, I
Okay.
mean, we have no problem with them having it or sharing it or even having questions, that they could ask through you if they had questions or wanted more clarification about something, and we'd be glad to, report on that.
Okay. Would that be beneficial for your project if, once we get the final draft, if I was to email it to you so you had it for your project, then do you have to give a presentation in class then?
Yeah.
Okay. And if
When
you
does that
needed,
due?
Yeah. When's the presentation due?
The end of semester, so like the end of January.
Okay.
oh, okay.
So the report is there's a paper that summarizes all the data we collected, and then attached to that is attachments, which is the speed study, the volumes that were recorded of traffic, the crash history report. So that's all there too, that you can see where we get the data from. So,
And that would be something if you needed me to come when you're doing presentation while you're talking to help break it down, or, I mean, whatever you would like for your project, if that helps. But once we get the final draft, before you leave tonight, if I get a good email from one of you, that way when I get it, I can send it to you and you have it for your project. Okay. I know it's not the answer you're probably looking for. This intersection gets studied every several years, though, because of the same concerns. I think, would you say 14 or 15, right?
I think it was
Somewhere in
around
there.
14, if I recall, looking at the older report.
Same study, same, speeds, everything was calculated. Maybe it was 11 or 2010 prior to that, but it is a concern because where it's at. Now, with the new school building going up, and when all that's done, it's probably going to be done again because there's might be different traffic patterns and such. So, they come out and they do a great job for us breaking everything down and figuring out the speeds. So I'm guessing once the school project is all done in a few years, there's going to be studies probably all the way around that to see what's warranted on the streets. So, but thank you for taking the time bringing this. But if this, we'll get you a copy of the report to help you along.
Thank you.
They do have some yellow warning signs, I believe. There's like a crosswalk sign on Phillips going both ways there, so hopefully that helps to deter, people without, having to stop there.
Yeah, that one does have the.
That's in the report.
Okay.
Does the board have any other questions about the draft report or the presentation of the draft report? No.
I don't know this one, though.
We can move on to the next study?
Yeah, we
In
can
the closed
then
session?
move on, Bywood and John M.
Okay.
There's
Next
the
on the,
same request for look for a four-way stop.
okay.
So again, the Traffic Improvement Association was asked to take a look at this intersection as well, North Bywood and the John M. Intersection. We did the same thing again, looked at volumes, speed, made a site visit, and looked at the crash history again there. And also, so we drew to the same conclusion that the always stop was not warranted. The traffic volumes weren't sufficient enough for that. Also, the crash history was not severe enough to warrant the always stop. Couple of observations we did make at the intersection was the northeast corner and the southeast corner has some very close trees or brush up to the sidewalk. It's starting to overgrow the sidewalk a little bit. So you can stop the stop sign. You can't see at that point, but you can move forward, which is in the Michigan Vehicle Code, that you're supposed to move forward after stopping to a point you can see. And you could still do that without having to enter the intersection to see, to cross the intersection or see if you have an available gap to pull across or pull into the road. One of the other observations was that the northbound, southbound directions of traffic, the road is wider, much wider, Washington Street. It also it gives the appearance of being a more high-speed road. So one of our suggestions was to install some speed limit signs there, just because you come in off of 14 Mile Road, or you come south, just the next intersection north is the four-way stop at Phillips, I believe it is. Yeah. And so it would be just south of that intersection and just north of 14 to put some 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign up as a kind of a reminder, because the feeling of the road is it's a little bit wider. Maybe it's a collector street, and So again, the speeds that we did see though were in the 85th was 24 miles an hour again. So we did, and the people exceeding a speed limit of 30 was still under 1% also. So we gave some times there to do selective enforcement as well. So that concludes my presentation. And all the data is in the report, all the records, and, a little more explanation of everything, but that was
Is that also a draft?
summary. Pardon me?
Is that report also a draft on that intersection?
Yes.
So they do a draft till the presentation, and then they finalize, and then we get it.
In case there's somebody wants more clarification on something, or a change, or we find a mistake in the data, so, yep.
Okay. Does the board have any other questions for Chuck
No?
on the intersection of John M. and Bywood?
I would just have someone make a motion so I can contact the DPW for the posting of those speed limit signs.
A motion.
Second?
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to write. Okay, all those in favor of installing the speed limit signs on Bywood, north and south of the intersection on John M. as mentioned in TIA's report, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion has passed.
And thanks again for doing that and doing the pedestrian study too. I'm not sure if that was done last time. I don't know if it was the pedestrian count, but I think that plays a major role into that.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay, and then item C under old business is police chief reports, updates.
I don't have anything other than what we just reported on.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is new business. Does anyone on the board have any items to bring up on the new business?
I do. I just have, a neighbor gave me a question, and she wanted to be here, but it was her birthday, so she couldn't be here tonight. But we were talking about the intersection at Bywood and 14, you know how it jogs around? We're trying to figure out what's the proper way to handle that, because like if you're going out and you're going to turn left onto 14, and someone's coming northbound on Bywood across 14, if I'm going to turn left and I think I have the right of way, that person coming at me could hit me. So what's the right way?
Well, you're turning left, they're going straight, so you do not have the right of way turning left.
Thank you. That's what we
Yeah.
thought.
It's a tight jog. There's other intersections that are more offset, where you would turn and there's a flashing red, stop and go from there. But that one is tight enough where it's continuous. So yes. So you always wait for that car over by the dentist office to see if
Yep.
they're turning or not. But when they're
Right.
coming straight, they have the right of way.
Okay, perfect. There was a debate, so
Did you win or lose that debate?
I won. It was a husband that lost.
Well, give her the victory. I mean, it's her birthday, or his birthday.
No, it's not his birthday. It was his wife who wanted to come and get the answer, so.
All right.
I'll let her know.
Does anyone else on the board have anything else to bring forward?
Other than,
I've got one thing to bring forward. Michelle Zawiski, she sent a letter in to Chief and copied me on it, that she mentioned that her resignation letter, and I'll read it out loud on her behalf. As I've recently moved out of the city of Clawson, I feel it's right to do the right thing, to resign from the Traffic and Safety Board. Please accept this correspondence as my resignation. I enjoyed my time on the board, and thank you for the opportunity to serve the community.
do we need a motion to accept the resignation formally? I don't know what you usually do when that happens on your board.
I think you need to.
We can.
I think we may as well.
Yeah.
I would motion to accept.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor and accepting Michelle's resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has passed.
I will get, is that our only opening then on the board, right? We're full besides that one? So I will get that posted, and then we'll see if anyone puts in for it to add to traffic safety then.
Okay, is there any other new business or any other topics to discuss?
Nothing?
No? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting has closed at 7:47 PM.
Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks.